In the 14th Istanbul Apparel Conference, we continue with the next session. We'll be speaking about traceability in sustainable raw materials. Actually, we continue with quite interesting subtitles, and we have a very distinguished guest with us, Zafer, Kaplan, CEO of Gamma Recycle. Welcome. So, with regards to sustainability and sustainability of the products, or at the same time, with regards to traceability of the products, what type of a process we go through? Let's start with that. 120 million tons of textile and apparel production all around the world. Of course, we don't have exact figures, of course, about this, but so around 130 million tons of textile and, again, apparel. Production and consumption, 10 million tons annually in Europe. It is 1.8 million tons in Turkey. Consumption of both textile and apparel, and 3 million tons of production and 1.8 million tons, of course, on the top of this import, consumed domestically. At the same time, we also have certain export figures. This 130 million tons that I mentioned about, non-woven and filament, again, yarn, textile, apparel, home textile, including. We have 7.5 billion people in the world. By 2050, it will go up to 10 billion. And Turkey's population will probably go up to 80 million. And therefore, this is going to be around 20 billion. And then, or 16 and 20 billion by 2100. So, we have to very well manage the raw materials in terms of sustainability. Therefore, in the textile industry in particular, it is one of the major industries in terms of employment. Thanks to the textile industry that in the UK we succeeded in doing the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century. And while doing the Industrial Revolution, at the same time we started the very first environmental pollution. At that time they were coal-fueled factories at that time. Of course, no filter systems. It is mostly actually with the furnace gases, and together with rain, it gets into the soil and therefore turned into sulfuric acid. Therefore, especially in the UK, when you go to Manchester and so on, unfortunately, especially majority of the Sherwood forests were destroyed. Therefore, the industry that started the Industrial Revolution resulted in being the second industry most polluting the world. But of course, from the perspective of sustainability, in particular in the upcoming 3 decades, probably, we have to create new resources that will suffice for the worldwide population. You are turning these types of things also into practice, into life, thanks to your investments. I think you actually are about to establish the largest recycling facility in Turkey at Gaziantep. You have 3 at Düzce, from especially denim. For example, you produce cotton yarn. Quite interesting things that you are doing, and also there is the traceability of your production process, which makes you different from the others. Would you please focus on this? And you are the only recycling facility with an R&D center, right? And we acted in 3 plant facilities in Gaziantep, at Düzce, 2 at the organized industrial estate, and almost $350 million worth of investment we did so far. And up to 2024, there will be an additional $200 million worth of an investment that we will make. And as for the things that we'll be doing, mostly recycling of the used clothing. It's 130 million tons of textile and apparel, and as I told you, only 1 per 1,000 of those recycled. Some of the literature say it is almost 3%, but it is pretty low. Mostly 1 per 1,000, we can say. Even at the producer level, it's possible to reach to the facts and real figures. So you need big ideas. As you follow from the panel so far, mostly with regards to use of recyclable products, there are so many projects going on, but on the top of recyclable products have about the idea that we produce things in a recyclable manner. For recyclable fiber, it corresponds to 7.5% of the entire global production. I mean, 110 million tons of fiber produced, as I told you, only 7.5% of those recyclable fiber, but 7% of the 7.5% is from the plastic bottles, recycled from the plastic bottles. Therefore, I think the retailers at the same time rely on this, which is a good thing. But what is more important in here is that as the textile manufacturers, how about we using or recycling our own wastes? What we're focusing on is that as the producers, recycling their own waste. There's a triangle with regards to recyclability, as you all know, or with regards to environment. And as you all know, at one pillar of this, there's recycle link, but the other thing, the edges of the triangle is producing our products in a manner that they can be recycled. It means that at the very beginning of the production process, aiming at recyclability. Absolutely. 3 years ago, while I was delivering a speech at such a conference, we're saying let's have one component, for example, especially for polyester. It's very easy to recycle them at the same time. Production of polyester. Polyester is a synthetic fiber, of course, but possible to recycle it again and again. And if you can recycle it as a single component, you can recycle 10 times. You cannot, you have 5, 10, 20% of this will be used at different batches, so not possible to recycle as a whole, but I don't know, maybe it can even go up to infinite number. I mean, as long as the molecules are not degraded, you can recycle it as much as you want. I mean, I'm just trying to be so quick so as not to steal the time of my other colleagues. But in terms of sustainability, rule number 1 is to actually produce products from recyclable products. I mean, your actual concentration must be there. And the other thing is waste management. For example, even if you produce a recyclable product, I mean, as long as you do not collect it and recycle it, it will not mean anything to you. So first, I'm speaking on behalf of the retailers. If you, for example, produce a product as recyclable, but if you do not have a good waste management, then that product will be in the garbage. Why? Because you actually have to collect them so as to refer them to the recycle. Therefore, the brands, the retailers, I don't know, maybe they need a storage system for this. Or one of the panels mentioned about rental, the rental system or some leasing system maybe, and for reuse while renting the product. And in particular, for example, first, as long as you produce your product as recyclable, then you are giving the consumer the opportunity to use it in return for a certain amount of money. But we have to be able to collect it in the containers. So I think there is an observation in here. So we have to trigger, or maybe the retailers and so as to collect it. I mean, for example, if the retailer collects his own product, it would be much easier. With very well-known brands, a couple of them, we are doing it in Turkey. Same also abroad. From their source, they collect the product, and then they bring us those products, and for those that are reusable, we sell them, and for the remaining, we recycle them. 40 million tons of used products, second-hand products, are in the garbage. It's 4 million tons in the EU, and it is 600,000 tons in Turkey, but we cannot collect them all. We're working with the local governments. We are just developing some new collection systems, but they don't have very well-established rules for this. I mean, in Turkey, together with the Red Crescent or with the Martyrs and Veterans societies, we are just trying to work with them, collaborate with them over the foundations, for example, exclusive collection of such products, because these are also the associations and foundations that are well-known, reputable ones in the society. At least people, rather than putting in the garbage, for example, the garments that they have, it is much better. 2% of the content of the dump sites, I would say, is mostly textile and at the same time clothes. So unfortunately, 600,000 tons annually. Again, we have the apparel products in the dump sites. So we have to find some solutions in these areas. And actually, probably in next year, with regards polyester apparel, we will have an investment around 30 R&D centers we work with, and we have patents produced for this. Used pens, for example, or other textile products, also decolorizing such products, and then in terms of using them back again in the garment industry. With regards to polyester, mechanical recycling and chemical recycling, therefore used back in the textile. We have certain activities on this. And the other things about their traceability. We have a newly developed system, and especially inside the products that we produce, we put, for example, some agents, just like a SIM card, for example. And during the process, the product is not required to be certified again. Once the retailer sent us one of the final product, we test it, and we understand whether that product belongs to us or not, or whether it is actually recyclable or not. Another additional point is that by further developing the system for conventional cotton, in organic cotton, we also will be able to use it. Also in other sustainable cotton practices, and there will be, again, we own the patent on this system. Thank you very much. Thank you. Actually, it is quite a crowded, a heavy schedule that we have, so if you excuse me, we have to give an end and immediately continue with the next session. By the way, congratulations. You actually have the only recycling facility in Turkey with an R&D center. Once again, great. Hopefully, in another platform, we'll have the chance to discuss it with further detail. So Zafer Kaplan from Gamma Recycle was with us, and will continue.